Hey, what's up, everyone? Austin Smith back again for another episode of Association All Access. Today, I'm joined by my brother, Mr. Oscar Walker, who is the 17U head coach for Team United. Coach, thanks for taking some time with me today, brother.
Thank you for your time, buddy.
Yes, sir. No doubt. No doubt. Well, Coach, we had you all at the tip-off, man, not too long ago at the first stop of the season. Tell us a little bit about your experience at that first event.
First, I want to thank you guys for the opportunity. You guys put on a great event. The platform that you're doing, the exposure that you're providing for the kids is second to none. So I want to thank you guys first. And for us, it was a loaded event. A lot of talent was in the event, and we learned a lot from your event. So it kind of showed our weaknesses, and we've been back in the gym since trying to work in those weaknesses. So we're ready now. We got an event this weekend. So because of your event, I think we're gonna be better for this event that we're going to this week. And then we're looking forward to Kentucky.
Yeah, man, absolutely. So with you all, man, being at that HoopSeen Tip-Off, and we were excited to have you all there, what ultimately just led to that decision for you all to become an association team this year?
I think the biggest piece for us, we're not on the Nike circuit this year. And the biggest piece for us was the exposure. We wanted to be a part of something that was well organized, right. And we wanted something that would give the kids the exposure that they needed. So that it was a no-brainer for us.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Well, I'll tell you this, Coach. After seeing you all play and having a chance to dive deeper into learning about your team, two guys that I enjoyed getting a chance to see were obviously, man, let's do it, Mike Best and Maxwell Cole. They stood out. They had great performances, guys who set the bar high for what we should expect from Team United. What impressed you about those two guys at that first event?
We talk about winning plays. So the biggest challenge, especially in the climate of grassroots basketball, you don't have a long time. Like, I'm a high school coach as well.
Okay.
So you don't have a long time to kind of get those kids to buy into your system. You don't have the practice time that you normally would want or expect. So trying to get them to buy in, we have to microwave that thing pretty quick. And both kids have bought in. We talk about making winning plays a lot. Mike Best, there's one play that stands out in particular. He's a prolific scorer, but there's one play that we always talk about. There was a play where he dove on the floor after a loose ball, kind of spunted around real quick and threw it to another player for a basket. I mean, those are plays that we want our kids to make. And Mike has been with him for a couple of years, and he knows how to make those winning plays. He knows what it means. Maxwell Cole is a new guy that has come to us, and Coach, Max may get on me for this, but I think I'm just being totally transparent. The first time we worked Maxwell Cole's out. I said, Mike, you come with Max, you come with a great reputation to shoot. I haven't seen it this practice, right? Max looked me straight in the eyes. He said, Coach, wait the next practice. You're going to see it. So Max is a kid that has unbelievable confidence. I mean, you tell Max that he can't do something, he's gonna prove that he can. So his confidence is I think one of the reasons why he's the player that he is.
Man, I agree, Coach. Both players, great players, both well-spoken in interviews we got to have with them, and I really enjoyed getting to know both of them. But, Coach, outside of the roster, outside of those two, you've also got some other guys that can play ball as well. And so with that remaining guys on your roster, what do you expect? Who else do you expect to have a good showing on your team at the Grassroots Showcase in Kentucky?
I'll tell you, and again, I'm going back to your event. Your event kind of leads to all of this. We in our mind, right, as coaches, we have the kids that we think can help us. Mm-hmm. But then when they're battle tested, you have another group that kind of surprise you. So, oh man, I didn't, So we do have some kids that have surprised us. We have a kid, Kendall Parker from Columbia, South Carolina, great collegiate, who's surprising. We always knew that he was athletic. But he's a kid just likes the lights, right? He may not be that practice player that we coaches, kind of talk about, but when those lights turn on, he's ready. He's our energy guy. He's the one that's clapping us up and chanting defense on the side. And he came off the bench, I think, for the first couple of games, and later we had to start him. He had to start him. So he's a key guy. Another kid that that we're pretty high on is Jaylen Maddox. He's a 6'8" forward/center. And Jaylen came to me first couple of days, said, Coach, whatever you need me to do, I'm going to do. Said, I need you to rebound. He said, Coach, I'm going to get every rebound in. So, you know, we got some kids that are slowly buying in. So that's what it's all about. I mean, I can't go without mentioning Camden Jernigan. He's a kid that plays from a high school team, and we talk about leadership a lot. We talk about who are you making better, and Cam is one of those guys that you got to have on your team. Not so much what he can do physically, but just for the leadership that he brings, and the talking, the feedback. What I need to do next, Coach. How can I get better? So that's the culture that we've always tried to get developed, and slowly because of the lack of practice, kids are now buying in.
Yeah, for sure, Coach. And then look, man, when you got a roster where guys are willing to do what it needs to win and they step into their roles, man, it makes a big difference. You know, I love guys that have that leadership characteristic. So you talking about that with your guy at the end, that's great to hear as well. Coach, let's talk about this for a second. We know that in the state of North Carolina, there are so many travel ball teams that have that high prestige and high pedigree. You know,
right.
Specifically, have you all at Team United been able to have so much success in getting high-level players, man? What's that secret formula, Coach?
I think Austin is just development for us. We're huge on development. I've been with the program. Oh my gosh. I'm not going to tell you how old I am now, but I've been with the program since I was about 24, 25 years old.
Wow.
So about 20 years or so. And ever since I've been with the program, it's always been about family and development. Wow. So we're one big family. I mean, you know, we support each other, all the coaches. We talk about how we can get better as coaches. It's kind of unique. We brought in a couple guys this year from Loaded. And they understand now what that family really means, and we take care of one another. And I think it trickles down to the players. I mean, the players know that we love them. Even the guys that we have that have gone on to do great things, they still come back. You know, we have some overseas. We have some, of course, in the NBA. Hassan Whiteside to name one. Patrick Williams to name another one that you're probably familiar with. I mean, these are Team United guys. They come back to the gym. They come straight to West Charlotte. They come straight to mentor a kid. So I think that family environment and that culture that is present is the reason why we're sustaining.
Man, wow. And look, it helps too that when you got those guys who have already been where some of these younger players want to be, when they come back and are able to pass that torch, man, right. That just allows that thing to keep rolling and growing bigger and bigger. One last thing, Coach, and again, man, thanks for your time today. You know, with players wanted to get to the next level, obviously recruiting and scholarships and all that is taking a complete 180, man, in terms of how things are being done as far as that exposure recruitment is going. What's been your message to players, especially with dealing with the transfer portal, different live periods, no live periods? What's been your message to players that want to get to that next level?
Coach, I think the biggest thing, and you're right, the climate is different now, right? So you have the transfer portal. Now you have that transfer portal, I think, has trickled down to everything. You have high school seniors that are now deciding to go post-grad and become 22, which impacts our kids. It all trickles down. And the biggest thing I try to get our kids to understand, the reason why college coaches, I talked to several of them last week, a lot of them aren't looking at high school kids right now. They're looking at the transfer portal. So they strictly recruiting from the portal. So I tell my kids, what else can you do? Right. We know that you're talented. We know you wouldn't be on the team if you didn't have the talent.
Right.
What else can you bring? When we talk about that well-roundedness as a player, are you going to be on time for study hall? Right. Are you going to wake up early to go to shoot around? Mm-hmm. So all those things and we use the word level up. So we have to level up to what college is like. So we try to create that college environment, that college atmosphere, so that when they get there, they're ready. Right. So for the biggest thing, I think we talk about leadership. We talk about communicating on the floor. We talk about collaboration. We talk about all those things. I mean, we're holding Zoom meetings in between games, just trying to get them to understand what it's going to be like. We talk about scouting the next opponent. What does that look like? You got to know your opponent beforehand. So all those things that probably are taught and expected at the college level, we want the kids to know now so that they are prepared when they get there.
And great advice, great wisdom, a great job by you all, man, in preparing those kids to be ready to seize the moment when the opportunity does come. Well, Coach, man, I appreciate you today, brother. Thanks for stopping by and hanging out with us on this episode of Association All Access. And hey, to all of our viewers, thanks for tuning in into another edition of Association All Access. As always, hey, I'm your host, Austin Smith, but my special guest today was my brother, Mr. Oscar Walker, who is the 17U coach for Team United. Coach, thanks again. We look forward to seeing your crew at that grassroots showcase in Louisville.
Absolutely. Thank you, Austin.